Morena koutou katoa. Rangatahi number 3. And today we're going to be talking about the idea of going back to the future and duality. But first, just a big shout out. Te wiki o te reo Māori was pretty amazing this year. And me kōrero tonu tātou. One of the key purposes of this kaupapa, Te Pai Pai Waho Chase Channel, is about sharing the language in a safe and in a safe space, and also sharing the beauty of the culture. Because if we share that, then we're sharing magic. And you've heard me talk about magic heaps. Getting back into the kaupapa. So the idea, the European idea of seen and not heard definitely wasn't part of our culture. And that's because of this idea of duality. An example of duality is poor and ao, night and day, old and young. And so there was a place for the young, there was a place for the old. And you were never retired and you were never too young. So everybody had a role, and it was about complementing each other, which is why the early written European records of our culture would note how shocked the Europeans were that young people were making decisions as part of the tribal grouping. And it wasn't that they were directly involved in every meeting, but if they had something to say, their viewpoint was listened to, and sometimes it could actually change the direction of the tribe simply because of the gems that are in the youth. And the beauty and simplicity of how the youth see the world. So this idea of duality, the fact that things are complementary, and so young and old should always be working together. Which takes us to this idea of going back to the future. And so one thing that the future is doing for us, and especially technology, is it's going to force that relationship to become stronger. You know, my manager for this is my 11-year-old son, and my daughter and my grandniece. They also give me heaps of advice and go, "Nah, that's dumb." But more than that, they will help us to connect. But as a result of technology, it's democratized knowledge, and so our kids know so much more than we knew when we were their age. So ka te ake, he kōrero poto tēnei on Rangatahi number 3, and going back to the future, because we need young people's support to help us better understand this new world that we're engaging in. Tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou katoa.